We have the most amazing diabetes educator at Stanford here with us today, Anna Simos. Anna and I have worked together on many projects, and I've really admired her depth of experience in diabetes, and she's worked at Stanford for how many years? 22 years. I know. She doesn't look like she could be that old, but so if you eat like she does, then you will also age well like that. So please join me in welcoming Anna.
Well, so today I thought about, gosh, December, what are we going to talk about? And it's holidays, which can be stressful, but if you have ideas, it's challenging. And challenging in so many ways, and how not to shift your regimen, and how to actually enjoy the holidays and not feel guilty. And to be quite honest, I have type 1 diabetes, so I have personal experience. I understand. And so I decided to put together some of my top tips of at least how I've survived the holidays and how some of the people I work with shared with me how they survived the holidays. And so thank you. And if there's any questions, just jump on in. If there's any comments, jump on in. This is actually a conversation. And after we're done, we are going to do something fun activity. We are going to decorate gingerbread people. Oh, yes. And we have gingerbread houses too. And we're going to, instead of using candy, we use healthier options. And they have carbohydrate in them, but they're fun too. And it's really cool from the traditional. And we'll be creative. So very cool. He's going to keep you company. So, I'm just getting. So, at the end of the presentation here, okay, well, we'll use this. No problem. Okay, so at the end of presentation, we'll identify 3 ways to be able to enjoy the holidays and not compromise your health. We are going to strategize on how to enjoy the holiday traditions and not lose people. And then, of course, the gingerbread cookies. Yeah, we'll all become experts. So, one of the #1 things I have found when going into the holidays, there's so many varied activities, is to have a game plan. And keep calm, because the holiday party is coming up, and it's always good to have, a perspective of we want to have a good time, but we don't want to compromise ourselves, because it's great to have a good time, but even if you overeat, even forget about overindulging in alcohol. You have diabetes, you eat the wrong things, the next day you have a sugar hangover, a carbohydrate hangover, and it gets you. And that's no fun. So, so what will you eat? For example, if you know that there's only, hors d'oeuvres, plan to select those that are lower in carb and calories, so they won't spike your blood sugar. You can use vegetables and lean proteins, and it's kind of hard, especially the past hors d'oeuvres. You kind of have to peruse, like, the cream puffs might be over here, but then, there might be some beautiful little thing with an asparagus. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have the cream puff. You just can't have 10 cream puffs. Okay? So, something like that. And kind of keep in the back of your head how much you consume. And if you can't do it, and you can actually, if you have someone with you who isn't going to nag you, but just kind of go, hey, that might be helpful. If not, you're on your own. Don't tell them, because you don't want to be mad at your body. You can also plan ahead by cooking, looking at if you're going to like an outside restaurant, and you're not sure what's there. I always spy. I stop my restaurant, so people tell me where I'm going, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what's available. And then I can kind of, in my mind, figure out what I'm going to order before I get there, so that I have a plan. And sometimes, you know, reality is being an entree passes by and looks so good, I have to change, but I still have a plan. And then if I want to order something special and larger, I usually cut it in half before, and I'm sure you guys do this. I know you probably met Leah. Leah's one of my colleagues, and we tend to split whatever we get at the entree. We either split it with someone or we split it in half and bring the other half home. So, you know, that's really cool. Another trick is to order first, so you don't get. If you order first, it's easier than listening to what everyone else is ordering, and then you go, well, you know, maybe I want that. How to time your meals. You know, if you're on insulin or even on oral meds, you have to think about how am I going to dose my medication if I'm at a party that is not going to be like if I'm on insulin. How do I take my insulin and then make a last for 3 hours while the meal is going on? You have to think about these things. Sometimes at parties, you might want, and you don't know what it's going to be served, you might want to consider even taking that insulin right after you're done so that you don't over inject. If you're taking oral agents, you have to start thinking about, if this is, I dose at 6 o'clock, then maybe I have to have a small snack right then and then eat a little later, so that you don't miss the peak effect of your medication. And you don't, because that happens a lot. I mean, after a while, we throw up our hands and go, whatever, you know, at the end of the night, we're going to maybe a 300 blood glucose. That doesn't have to happen. We just need to be mindful of how we dose our needs. And how we take our meds. The other thing is, don't skip your meals. Like, don't skip breakfast and lunch to save up for the big meal at the end of the day. Because what happens there is you'll bottom out. That's another thought that we think about these things. But so just eat maybe smaller meals, smaller proportion meals, but make sure you get some carbohydrates in. If your holiday schedule is too busy to consider pre-planning, you know, and preparing meals and snacks, you know, sometimes you might have to buy something and have it with you on the go. Just because sometimes we get to parties and there's really nothing we want to eat. Well, then what do? I mean, you guys have a survival kit in your car or your backpack or in your purse? Does everyone how many people keep like something with them all the time to make sure they have a snack?
I do.
That's good. You know, you never know. And I think that's essential. I mean, I have a smorgasbord in my car. Okay, here, what can I eat? You know, here's the poor lady. There's a little angel, and then there's a little devil. And, you know, there's all the fruit, and there's all the burgers and fries and cream puffs. You know, doesn't mean you have to do all the fruit. By the way, if we look at this, I don't know how many of you guys really see this. All of this has carbohydrate. This has carbohydrate too. They're both carbohydrate. It's just the kind of carbohydrate. So it doesn't mean you can't have, you know, some cream puffs, can't have a burger. It just, the amount and how do you pair them? That's what it means. So, you know, if you have something you want to have that really great dessert, maybe you cut back on potatoes at dinner. If you're on a fixed meal plan, if you're taking insulin, maybe you might add a little bit more for your carbohydrate. But it doesn't mean you can't have it. It doesn't mean you can't have your favorite thing, because that's no fun. And you know, life is too short. You have to have a favorite. Okay, portions. Portions are so hard because you see we have a little ornament and then a bunch of, I don't know if that's true. Now, you know, we're supposed to have, you know, I don't know if Leah went over it, but you know, different sizes. Palm of your hand is a serving of meat. You know, part of our finger is cheese. I mean, okay, during the holiday time, this is really kind of a hard thing to go to, but we need to think about how much we're eating, because like you can go through tortilla chips I mean, people say, well, you should count your tortilla chips. Who counts tortilla chips? I don't count tortilla chips. I just, after the fifth tortilla chip, I'm like, it's all over. And, you have to think about, okay, so what I do is I put some on my plate, and after the plate is done, that's it. I don't go any further because I know if I'm taking from a container, if I'm not measuring my food in my own thought process, then it's, I lose count because you're at a party. You're supposed to enjoy yourself. How many people, so here we go. So 1 cup is a fist, 3 ounces is the palm of your hand, 1 tablespoon is the tip of your thumb. Okay, this is all dependent on the size of the person. I have people who show me the palm of their hand, and I'm like, that is just not right. You cannot have, like, look at that, you can put a sirloin steak on that palm of your hand. It's not, no way. So you just have to think about portions. How many people use nutrition apps on your phone? Does anyone use nutrition apps? How about MyFitnessPal? Does anyone use apps? So on the smartphones, you can use apps, and you can go to some of the very more common restaurants that you go to. They'll have all the foods and the carbohydrates on them. And the apps are free. MyFitnessPal, Calorie King, these are some very large databases. There's another one that's called Calories and Calcs, and it's from Britain, and it will give you a picture of a pile of spaghetti, and it will tell you for this size of spaghetti on this plate, that's how many carbohydrates. Now that's kind of good because it gives us a better idea, because the restaurants we go to, they're not for giving you a third of a cup of rice. They're giving you 2 cups of rice. And it's nice, and you go, oh, maybe you'll even say, that's a cup of rice. That's 45 grams of carbohydrate. P.F. Chang's does not know what 45 grams of carbohydrate is. I'll tell you. And, you need to, so it's good to, look at these things so it gives you a nice visual. And after a while, what's really interesting is we're going to find, everyone thinks their diet's so varied. Reality is people eat about 12 to 15 of the same foods all the time. And if you learn how much the carbohydrate is in that food, you start to really get a better gauge of how much I eat. If you're on insulin, how much I need to dose. Even if you're on medication, this is my portion size. And if I eat this much, 2 hours later, my blood glucoses are still going to be in the normal range. So that's kind of how you do it. And it's not a perfect science. It's not a perfect science. But it's getting better than it used to be. It used to be horrible. Outsmart buffet. Buffets are so fun, but they're so scary. They're dangerous. When you face a spread of delicious holiday foods, how do you make healthy choices easier? I mean, it's really hard. Yeah, that's right. You can peruse the options, get yourself a small plate of food, and then move away from the buffet, step away from the buffet table. This is not that easy though, because the spread is so beautiful. So if you do go back, try focusing on the vegetables, the proteins. Vegetables, proteins, monosaturated fats, the nuts, those types of things. They might have calories, but they're not going to bump your blood sugar. Vegetables usually don't, but they're not going to bump your blood sugar. So what is a carbohydrate? Can anyone give me an example?
Potatoes.
Oh, potatoes are good. Rice. Oh yeah, bread. And the bread is so beautiful. And by the way, people have forgotten when I was a kid, I remember the white loaf of Wonder Bread, this plastic piece of, it was an example of, that's what the example the nutritionist showed me. She showed me this plastic tea model. It was like Wonder Bread. She was like, that's 15 grams of carbohydrate. And I thought about it and I was like, I don't really eat that bread. But No one makes 15 grams of carbohydrate in, those big, beautiful loaves of bread. There's like 30 grams of carbohydrate. So, when you look at the bread, just realize it's good to look at the package and see if you have it at home, how many servings per loaf. And if you're actually, and that's again another thing about these apps, you can actually, if there is nothing, they'll give you an idea, like on the MyFitnessPal, you could say whole wheat, 7-grain whole wheat bread, and it'll give you an estimate. And that helps. That helps. We have a better idea of what we're eating. How to manage alcohol during the holidays. It's part of the holidays. Most important thing when you have diabetes is that you eat if you're having a drink. Do not. And does everyone know that? If you guys know that, that's so important because you'll end up going low. So it's really important to eat definitely a protein and a carbohydrate or a fat and a carbohydrate. If you're going to have even a glass of wine, beer has carbohydrate in it. You still need to eat to be able to smooth out that blood glucose and make sure that you don't go low. Because alcohol affects the body, stops everything else. And your insulin or your medications are still working, but your body isn't processing everything, and you will dip. So alcohol, so no more than 1 drink per day for women and no more than two per day for men. I'm not sure who made that rule, but okay, we'll go with it. But so what does 1 drink equal? 1 drink equals 4 ounces of wine, a 12-ounce of beer, or 1 ounce of distilled spirits. So a cosmopolitan is, 1 drink. Cosmopolitan usually has more carbohydrate in it because that when you look at mixed drinks, you have to think about what the drink is mixed with. Keep moving. Okay, we're lucky we're in California. Thank goodness we're not like in Maine or Boston where it's snowing and cold. But it's so important to keep moving when you're on the holidays because we tend to pick up a few more calories. It's really important. Plus, it makes our diabetes medications work better, makes our insulin work better. Everything works better when we move. So, people say it's like your secret holiday weapon. And it also reduces stress during a stressful time of year. And sometimes, if you have a bunch of friends or family that you're not used to having with you, you can go take them to the beach and walk. So take those opportunities because I think that really helps balance out the food. And then last but not least, if you fall off the bus, okay, the diabetes bus, and you're not the best, you don't have the opportunity to, you do not do perfectly. Don't beat yourself up. You just get back on track. You just get back on your plan. It's very common. You have to cut yourself a break. You have to not feel guilty. And it's important to be able to still have the things you love and be able to enjoy them and not feel bad. Because the stress of having diabetes alone raises our blood sugar. Does anyone have any tips that they'd like to share?
What kind of tips are you having?
Like tips to, how do you guys survive the holidays? How do you guys,
I just taste a little bit of everything.
that's good. Nibble, yeah.
Nibble, yeah, exactly.
Nibble, just a little bit. That's right. And sometimes isn't that just enough? Yeah, just to have that taste. I do that. I love that. It's so fun.
So you get to taste everything.
Yeah, you can taste everything if it's a small amount. And that's the key, is to be able to have that opportunity to do that. Well, you guys, whatever it is, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. And definitely go have your favorite food.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You said move, keep on moving. Is the moving this particular part of the day or any time?
Well, so I think that sometimes when we're eating a lot of food,
Yeah.
it's really good to actually do a little bit of exercise before or after to help our gastric emptying do well. And this is really important for people with diabetes because sometimes the effects of having high to low blood sugars or blood sugars out of normal range slows down our digestive system. So we tend to we have a harder time feeling good if we eat a lot or even eat more than we're used to. So it's kind of like, I consider it like shaking it down. I just go and I'll just walk or, do any type of activity will help. I mean, it doesn't have to be a triathlon. It could be speed shopping.
Another question.
Yes.
If I bake my own cookies, can I eat that? 10, 15 of it?
You make your own cookies and eat them because you did the exercise? I like that idea. That's a good one. Well, the baking is exercise. I mean, if you really do bake, cooking is not for sissies. I mean, that is a lot of exercise. So yeah, you can have an extra cookie if you're like baking a meal.
Healthy cookies.
Healthy cookies, yes. There are healthy cookies. These cookies here, my mom, thank you, Mom. My mom made them, but these cookies my mom used to make me when I was a kid because I couldn't have the ones my brothers had. So, this is from an old diabetes forecast magazine recipe. But there are healthy cookies. But as long as you know the carbohydrate in them, yeah. What kind of healthy cookies do you make?
Well, other than oatmeal cookies, it's made of oatmeal.
That's right. And that's a good thing. Oatmeal has more fiber in it. It actually blunts the spike of the blood glucose in the bloodstream. And the fiber is really good too. So oatmeal, you can make health cookies. They're pretty pricey too when you go to Whole Foods or even anywhere. But you can make them. You can put like raisins and nuts and all those things that you put in those cookies help slow the absorption of the carbohydrate in the cookie dough. That's really important. Plus you get some protein and some good monounsaturated fats which help your high density looking proteins, help your heart healthy fats. Yeah, no, it's great. That's a great recommendation. And yeah, cooking it can be an extreme sport. Anything else? Yes.
I was at a company picnic, and one of the side dishes was rice. And I chose not to have rice because I wanted the cookie. My daughter says, "You're being a hypocrite. You won't eat the rice, you eat the cookie." I go, "No, it's a matter of choices. I wanted that cookie, so I chose not to eat the rice."
Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, what do we do when we want it both? What do we do? Now we could be like this gentleman back here and have a little bit of each, right? Tiny piece of the cookie, tiny piece of the rice, and gosh, you have still room for something else. You could do that. But if you wanted a robust amount, yes, one or the other. It's like the book, eat this, not that. There's which is really, really you can eat basically anything as long as it's all its portions. How do you guys politely tell people when they look at you because you have diabetes in your family that, are you sure you want to have that? See, that is my whole life was like that. Everyone's like, yeah, are you sure you want to have that? I'm like, oh yes, I want to have that. But then I'm the bad person about you. Yeah, you're myself. Yeah. Well, I always would say, well, yeah, I can have that. And I would say something like, I didn't have my mashed potatoes, so I could have this. I'm Greek. I didn't have my, potatoes or my pilaf because I wanted my baklava. All right? Darn it, I get a piece of baklava a couple times a year. Life's too short. That'll happen. But these are the choices that, yeah, thank you. That's exactly the example. That is the example. And you know, it's how do you politely tell people that without feeling guilty? And you know your body the best. You know your plan. And you don't have to have a reason, but you don't want to tick them off. So you just have to kind of sometimes educate them. What do we do with eggnog? Seriously, what do we do with eggnog? I am sorry. Eggnog is the diabetes death trap because it's egg, it's sugar, it's alcohol, it's all this. There is eggnog light, which has a little bit less calories, a little bit of less sugar, but you can actually have some eggnog. It's just not a full glass of eggnog. You can have it. Don't feel bad if you have eggnog. Yeah. Yep.
Those who take metformin for morning and evening, what I really say was you balance that out. You take it, and then you take it.
Yeah.
Right after that.
So luckily with that with metformin,
Yeah.
it doesn't have as much of an effect of hypoglycemia, low blood sugar effect as glucoside does. As it doesn't, it's not as the metformin is a wonderful drug because it helps your body sense insulin and it helps your body. It promotes insulin, but it doesn't squeeze your pancreas as much to produce insulin. So you don't have as much of an effect of going low, but you still do have that risk. So what you need to do is make sure that when you take your metformin, within a couple hours, you do have some carbohydrate, or your bottom out. You will. Even with a dose of 250 twice a day or 500 twice a day, you could. So you have to be able to make sure you have a small, even if it's a cup of crackers. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
I take metformin once there. You say I should eat first or
No, you can take your metformin, but make sure within, the space of about 2 hours, you have something to eat during that time. You don't want to bottom out. Yeah, you take it with, sometimes people though, even though you tell people take it with food, their stomach doesn't feel good, it can cause some GI upset, so they don't take food, and then it lowers their blood sugar. Because their tummy hurts. So you have to try to get some carbohydrate. Yeah, even if it's milk. Milk has sugar in it. Not bad, milk is good for you. Carbohydrate is good for you, it feeds your brain. You ever look at somebody who doesn't eat any carbohydrate? They're pretty grumpy. Seriously, they get hangry. So I think it's time. I think we're gonna. Okay, keep going. Okay, we're gonna pass out the cookies. Any other questions? Okay, we are going to decorate some cookies. You guys can take them home. We're gonna decorate some gingerbread houses. And you guys are great. Okay. Thank you.
I don't know.